Hey everyone, it's Craig. Before we get into the show, I would like to ask you to please check out our Patreon page. That is patreon.com, patreon.com/Katya and Craig. You will find terrific reward options available, including bonus episodes, secondary bonus episodes that include listener questions. Check out the options for yourself, see which one works for you, and now I'd like to say thank you very much from both of us for all of your support, your incredible notes, your messages, everything, the artwork. We're really touched, and we're so happy that, we've connected with you. And now, here's the show.
A Russian ballerina, stomping on a bureaucrat, a perky suburban housewife who just got into scat. It's whimsically volatile.
So we are rolling.
Are we rolling on a river, though?
We are. Yep. Rolling on a river, just like Proud Mary.
Yeah. Have you ever rode the good ship Lollipop?
Well, I wouldn't admit that in public, but possibly. Possibly. Who's asking?
Craig!
Katya?
I have a challenge for you.
Katya, I'm excited to accept this challenge, or at least consider the challenge to be accepted.
I would like you to consider the possibility that...
Yes.
I have a ding-dong.
Oh, okay. That's a fair enough possibility. Possibility. And now, unless there's any news that you have, I would say that you do have a ding-dong.
Do you think that I would tell Tool...
I don't think you'd tell Tool.
Do you think I would tell tools out of school?
I don't think you'd tell tools out of school.
I have a man's toolbox.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. And some people like to wrestle around in that toolbox.
Yeah, or even rummage around.
That's right.
And I say caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware.
But you don't like to empty out via the douche, so...
No.
So lest the buyer be scared.
I have a bug in my ear.
Oh, well, it's in your ear. At least it's not in your toolbox.
That's a good one. T.S. Madison.
Yes.
Are you familiar with her work?
I am familiar with T.S. Madison's work.
Are you familiar with bigdickbitch.com?
Is that her website?
No, I said bigdigbitch.com.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now, in Boston, I met T.S. Madison in the flesh. Mm-hmm. In Misery's dressing room and backstage of Jacques' world-famous cabaret.
Of course, yes.
And we had many moments together as people.
Yes.
And we hugged and we smiled. And she said she had declared at that time that she is my auntie.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
That's lovely, yeah.
And I'm her niece. And she has a bigdigbitch.com website where she likes to show people's her toolbox. Would you say that makes her a villain?
I would never say that makes her a villain.
No, I would never say that either.
I would say to some a hero or heroine.
Or a shiro.
Yeah, shiro, heroine.
So I'd just like to give a shout out to T.S. Madison. Hello, Auntie. I hope that you are feeling good.
We both hope you're feeling good.
Because she also says, get a job, suck a dick, own a business.
Those are very... Those are very good instructions to the peoples.
It's a 1, 2, 3 punch.
That is. See, it spun me out. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do.
It threw you for a loop.
It did.
It threw you for a loop. Also, this is a fun fact.
I love fun facts.
I know you do. Me and my friend Emily Giannakopoulos. No, that's a mouthful.
That is Giannakopoulos.
Of
the Shrewsbury Giannakopoulos?
Of the Shrewsbury Giannakopoulos.
Of course, yes.
A Greek. She's a Greek. She's a Greek. Yeah, a Greek woman. We, along with my other creative partner, Avi Paul Weinstein, absolutely no relation to Harvey.
Right. Let's make that clear, ladies and gentlemen.
No, a non-practicing Jew. We created together a demo for a couple of songs.
Oh, okay.
For an album.
Yeah.
Not published. But there were 2 songs that I remember. One was called Poisoned Lunch. But the other song was called The Hoop, The Illusion. The Hoop, H-O-O-P, or slash.
Slash, okay.
Slash or hyphen.
I was going to ask
if
it was a slash or a comma.
I think it was a slash.
Okay. Take the slash.
It was a monster mash. The slash and then the illusion.
You know what take a slash means for Cockney rhyming slang?
No.
It means going to take a piss.
What's the intermediate?
Have a slash is what they say.
Have a slash.
I don't know what's
the middle child.
Right, I don't know what the thing is that allows you. Let's look it up.
Let's look it up. Let's go on Google.com and search for the answers.
That's right. Searching for the business.
And while we're doing that, I'd like to politely encourage all the listeners out there to have a glass of potable water.
That's right. You never can have enough, really. Although, actually, you can.
Well, you can.
If you drink too much, you can drown your brain.
Wet brain.
Wet brain. That's right.
Wet brain.
Let's see. Urban Dictionary. Take a slash. It's British slang to urinate, but where is the middle bit?
Where's the middle bit?
How does this work?
Are you a grandpa?
According to many of our listeners, yes, we're both grandpas.
I'm a great grandpa.
You're a fabulous grandpa.
Thank you very much. I do not have gray pubes, Craig.
Well, I'll take that on good faith that you don't.
I also detest that word pubes. I think it is disgusting.
Really? What would you prefer?
Pubic mice.
Pubic mice. That's much better. Even when your pubic mice have the pubic lice, you got to get that shampoo.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
We can look this up later, too.
We could also just take our clothes off.
We could. And have a good time and drink some cherry wine. No, we don't have to take our clothes off. That's right.
We do not have to take our clothes off.
No.
But I am going to enjoy a nice Coca-Cola California raspberry drink in a glass bottle.
Fabulous. It's delightful cane sugar. Listen to that. That sounded refreshing.
It is extremely refreshing. Can we prank phone call someone?
I think we can, yeah.
Can we do that now?
Let's pause and I can hook the phone up to the recording device. We are now attempting to call.
We're gonna prank phone call Mrs. Kasha Davis from season 7. Let's see if she picks up. Come on, Kasha.
It might display my name, though.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't know who you are.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, maybe she's probably fucking a basket of muffins right now. Is it connecting?
Not yet. The trouble with crank calls in this day and age is people don't pick up their phone.
They don't pick up the phones anymore.
They don't.
They don't pick up the fucking phones anymore.
Any unknown number, it's verboten.
Hello?
Excuse me, is this Mrs. Kasha Davis from season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race? I got a bone to pick with you. I saw that you would attempted to attach your pussies to some Russian whore, and I just called to say that's very un-American activities. We don't appreciate all that kinds of drama, conflama, madness, shenanigans, shenanigans, tomfoolery, and I just wanted to know...
Are you done? Are you done? Are you finished? Listen, I have a financial advisor here right now.
Are you serious? You're on the air.
Well, good.
Good.
It's good to be on the air.
Let the people know. Let the people know.
Mrs. Davis, how are you feeling?
Hello, darlings. It's me, Mrs. Kasha Davis, and I have a financial advisor.
Now, I love a good euphemism, so that's a fabulous euphemism for whatever you're up to.
What are you really up to?
Seriously, we were just sitting down. Well, see, at our age, what we also have to do is prepare our will.
Oh, my God. She's on the verge of death.
Well, you just have to be prepared, and you have to know where the passwords are.
Oh, Lord.
And all of the, So, and plus, DragCon is coming, so you never know if that'll blow up. Oh. Terrible to say.
What kind of goodies can the children expect from your toolbox at this DragCon, Mrs. Davis?
Well, blouses, of course. It's very good for people to wear a blouse. I really expect that these days.
Will there be summer blouses?
Well, see, my blouses are all season.
Even better.
Yeah, and they're really good separates because of ladies of leisure. Sometimes we like things to go with our leggings. Because I don't know if you have... I sold nearly a dozen singles on my new single called Basic on iTunes.
Whole dozen? Not a baker's dozen? Not a baker's dozen?
No, well, we had to pay for the video, so it was low budget. So we only...
Now,
it's just,
we know there's always time for a cocktail, but is there always time for a cunt tale?
Well, there's always time for cunt tale. And I was married to a vagina. No, a lovely lady.
Were you
for
really?
a long time. I was,
Wait,
yes.
what?
You remember that. This was... I don't know if you remember anything I tell you, but I was married to a woman. From 19... Well, so we met in 88, and then we divorced in 98.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
A nice decade with a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Well, she was just fantastic. I do love her. She doesn't remember me, but
okay.
That happens though. That happens.
Yeah. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it.
Well,
let's pick this apart.
Well, So, but I think we just put each other through hell. I mean, we met in high school, and she was the first girl that would say yes because I asked every single girl possible.
You did not.
So that
You slut.
because I just. Well, I was not only a slut, but I mean, I was just like, I was so gay. It was, I was in a ballet company and the president of the drama class.
Okay. Okay.
And it's the 70s and 80s and you couldn't be gay,
Of course.
You just couldn't, especially with a U.S. Marshal father who would beat the hell out of you if you played with Barbies and stuff.
And what part of the country were you living in?
Well, Pennsylvania, Scranton, PA.
Ooh, good old Scranton.
Good old Scranton. You've heard The Office, the coal mining town, and Dad's U.S. Marshal, Mom's an Avon Ladies. So I was right in the middle.
Oh, I love that. Like a Diane Weist from Edward Scissorhands.
Exactly.
Yeah. Avon calling. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's Italian diva. Also, God love her. She struggled with addiction and passed in that whole.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what else?
It's hereditary.
It is. Yeah, it is. Runs in the family.
Totally.
It totally does. So these days, how do you fill your time, Mrs. Davis? How do you stay out of the drama?
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, it's a whirlwind experience. During Drag Race, for me, I was still employed at this call center. I worked there at Dial America for 18 years.
That's right.
I was a director. I was in charge. I was the boss.
Yeah.
And so I did drag part-time. And my dream as a kid was to perform. And so the long and short of it was, I lived in this whole you can't. And then RuPaul's, cast me and I thought I can. And so Steve and I thought, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, then the next thing you know, I'm touring, which was great. And then I wasn't. Nobody called.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I was sitting and basically that's where my addiction just kind of went whirlwind and I was drinking day and night.
How did you manage that before all of that? Like, what was your level of drinking? Was it sort of like teetering on the edge of going into the problem area, or?
I knew since the minute I took a sip of alcohol back in probably 1986 or whatever year it was, I was like, ooh, this is way too right.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, oh,
totally.
Like everything lit up.
Yeah.
And it took away this level of anxiety that I never even understood was there.
Sure, yeah.
And so, you replaced it with other things. And then whenever there was an emotional, very stressful time in my life, the drinking would get crazy. And then I would manage it. I'm very put together. I can make a very good scene look, I was taught from that very young age to make it all look right.
Yeah,
sure.
Don't show those flaws.
Yeah.
And this whole freaking process brought me straight to my knees, literally.
Yeah.
And realized I can expose those things. I could just be me. Which is an alcoholic.
It's tough.
And it's so freaking ironic that my phrase is "there's always time for a cocktail."
But that's the irony of fate, Kasha. You know what I mean? That's the irony of fate. My whole thing is a Russian bisexual transvestite hooker. It's not even a joke. I'm always Russian. I'll buy anything sexual. I'm a total transvestite, and I sold my pussy for cash.
There you go.
Yes.
And
I bought it.
Yeah. Now, how about is there always time for a mocktail? What do you like to drink now that you're off the sauce?
Well, what they teach you in the 12-step classes is club soda with lime. So,
Did you ever get into a milkshake or a rocky or like a little root beer float?
Well, my milkshakes bring all the boys to this cul-de-sac.
To the cul-de-sac. Oh my God.
No, honestly, it's been like, so how do I fill my days? I fill my days with like just living in the freaking moment. I am so blown away by the clarity and, bringing me back mentally and spiritually to that time when I was that kid, that 20-year-old.
Sure.
And so now I'm like, oh my God, I can't even imagine what's next. Like, I'm awake, everybody. I was sleeping.
Yeah, totally.
Do you cherish every morning that you wake up that you don't have a hangover? I don't drink. It never really agreed with me. And so I just always love, if I wake up really tired and I'm doing a lot of projects, I'll think, oh, what's good about this? I don't have one of those things hanging on my head.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I remember talking to Katya early on, when I first got sober, and she was like, girl, you're going to be tired, you're going to be exhausted, you perform, but when you wake up, you can just eat. You can get rest. You're going to be fine.
That's right.
So it wasn't, and you realize then that it wasn't necessarily just the alcohol. There was emotional things.
Oh, it's everything underneath. It's all the stuff underneath. Yeah.
So there's such a thing as emotional hangovers and moments where you're like, oh my God, I'm like, I could wake up one morning with crippling jealousy.
Yes,
I
sure.
cannot believe this person.
Yeah. The nerve.
And then I'm
the gall.
the nerve.
Yeah.
And then I, break it down and take a minute and literally start the whole everything that you hear about, these gratitude lists and the readings in your toolbox, and you're like, okay, this is ridiculous. This is all lies. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all false. It's just my mind just playing this like sort of, this tape over and over.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing myself down to my knees. No one's doing it to me.
I relate 100% to that. There's an expression they said, the mind is a dangerous neighborhood to hang out in.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
And
that's a cul-de-sac we need to stay away from, Mrs. Davis.
That cul-de-sac has a van with no windows, but a lot of candy inside.
Halloween candy. It's the worst. It's like already bitten and eaten. It's horrible.
Yeah.
The Charleston shoes already, ground up.
Yeah.
Zag nuts or something.
Yeah. And you are a longtime colleague of Miss Darian Lake.
I am. So, I was actually originally a fan of Darian Lake. When I moved to Rochester to open that call center I was talking about, I also just came out. So here I am,
really?
28 years old, going out to the gay bar. It was like going back to college. It was the whole thing. And it just, I never saw drag. I mean, I literally went in and I was like, what are these people doing? And it was Darian Lake and Pandora Box and other gals here in town that are staples like Aggie Dune and Ambrosia
love her.
Yes, Aggie Dune is.
Aggie Dune and I, don't you think we look like sisters or don't you think? We have a very similar
she
look.
She looks like a great aunt, but close.
I love her look. I love her look. She's gorgeous.
She's perfection. So creative. And she's the one, when I first started doing drag, she turned to me and said, don't be afraid to try and look pretty. And I was
my God. That is a harsh read.
Yeah, but it was true.
Yeah.
So I would see Darian and I was like, God, she can move. And she was everything. And she tells a story, and it's true, that we were on gay.com and talking to each other. And I told her, I'm like, I like ice cream, because I knew she would. And so apparently, because I was a star fucker. I was like, she's a local celebrity. Yeah. And so we made out in a club once. And,
my God, Mrs. Davis, how dare you?
She just did. Well, that was before Mr. Davis. I was a little bit of a whore. I would put my red light on in the front porch, so all the boys knew.
All the paper boys and the milkmen.
Well, yeah. So, that's gay.com time. So here I am on gay.com, like flirting. And then I didn't know that there was the public room. I'm saying all these nasty things. I'm loaded with Tanqueray, sitting on the kitchen floor. And like a friend of mine is like, we all saw that. I'm like,
oh,
God.
Yeah. Not very good at technology.
Oh, I'm not either.
Oh, terrible. So I would see her, and then I went to P-Town and saw Miss Richfield.
1981. Yeah.
And because these girls here were so pretty. Pandora was pretty, but she was funny, and it was like, they look like girls. And I was like, I didn't relate. And I saw Miss Richfield, and she was just flat out, balls to the wall, like, I got a dress on, but like, no tuck, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And she was hysterical, and she sang live, and I literally... Steve and I rushed home that 9-hour drive, and we were like, you are doing drag. This is perfect. Because I could do it on my own time, create all of it, and go to work 9 to 5 and still do what Dad and Mom said. Get the job, you have the benefits, have the insurance, and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Kids, bullshit. If you're listening.
Drop out of
it's
school.
Bullshit. Drop out of
Quit
school.
Your job.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams. You could drive Uber. Unless you're like me, you can't drive anything. But anyway. In a couple more months.
Mrs. Davis, who are the divas of today or yesteryear who inspire your drag?
Well, listen, my first inspiration is my mother. Okay. My mom, Italian diva, and she was the kind of gal, like I would bring a friend of mine over when I first came out, and this friend was a little heavier, and I'd say, oh, Mom, this is my friend Alicia. Is she your girlfriend? No, Mom, she's just a friend. Oh, Eddie, there's those chocolates over there if you want to have them. Alicia, do you want an apple?
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
So she was just, like Mom really was just constantly reading everyone, everything, and like we at a neighbor's wedding. I said, Mom, you should dance with Dad. She's like, Eddie, ask yourself this one question. Would you dance with him? You know,
Oh my God.
she was just always. So she was this diva.
Yeah.
Just the minute I laid eyes on her, I fell in love.
That's amazing.
And my grandmother was a vaudeville star.
Oh, wow.
She was a whistler. And,
What?
Yes, back in the vaudeville days, she would whistle and she would host, and boy, could she blow! I guess I'm a lot like her.
She was
No,
a
but it's
whistler?
true.
What the fuck does that even mean, Kasha?
She would literally go to these vaudeville shows and whistle, and yeah, like,
That's incredible.
I can't even do it because I'm laughing.
Yeah.
It is incredible. And so I would see these. I mean, it was back in the day. It was horse height, which was like the beginnings of American Idol. They would go around and find people in their local communities, and they would put on these shows. She performed at Radio City. She had her own little show in Scranton called The Italian Hour, and she auditioned for the Indian Love Call, which is a movie where there was this whistling American Indian.
Wow.
And she stopped because there was this family, they were all driving to a gig and there was a car accident and they saw this horrible accident and she stopped and went to become a beauty salon.
Wow.
I would look through her photos and see these gowns, and she'd be on stage and be so glamorous, and that she had this rack of clothing up in the attic. And I distinctly remember sitting in her beauty salon saying, like, I'm going to be just like you when I grow up. And my grandfather would yell in the other room, what are you going to be, a fairy? You know?
A faggot.
And I would be like, well, yes, maybe.
Yes, darling, that's exactly what I'm going to be.
But there I was cutting out photos of who? Elizabeth Taylor, Joan Collins. So it's like these, and then of course, Liza Minnelli. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Darling.
How could addicts not relate to her? She has more ups and downs. And if you've ever seen her, did you ever see her on the Home Shopping Network?
No.
Where she was selling her?
I think I might have. We have to revisit this. Yeah.
You need to go. You need to check it out. She's hammered, and she's probably on everything under the sun. She's falling out of the chair. She's talking about her stuff. It's incredible. You need to watch it.
Oh, I love that.
So they say, Liza, there's a woman calling from Georgia, and she'd like to say hello. Her name is Linda. She goes, "Hi, Georgia."
So enthusiastic though too, even when she was in a bit of a blackout.
And she was
like,
a speed freak too, because she used to sweat from every orifice. I heartily relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I love, and of course Tina Turner and these, divas, and then Lucille Ball. I mean, these are the classics to me. Yeah. And what I loved is that they had real life stories, but they fought and
they overcame,
told their truth, and still worked and performed and overcame.
And fun fact, Craig, Mrs. Kasha Davis and I did season 7 of Drag Race was filmed on the I Love Lucy set.
Oh, it was. I didn't know that. The former Desilu Studios.
Yep, on Hollywood Center Studios.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. And they every day we'd walk by a big poster.
Like the original first couple episodes were filmed there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't that's not Desilu Studios then?
Hollywood. Right? Am I wrong, Kasha? Am I wrong? No. Yeah, I remember distinctly.
You're not wrong. It was the one that they used before Desilu. It was the first few episodes.
Gotcha. Oh, that's still great.
They told me in the they had mentioned in the audition process with me, like, because I had talked about Lucy, and as a kid I was like, oh, I always wanted to perform with her. And when we were doing our promo video, they told me, and I was standing on that set thinking, I made it.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
this is, like, I'm with Lucy. She's here. I feel that. It's because it's such a that where we did those promo shots with those. I don't know what you call them. It was the first year they changed and looked quote unquote different.
Oh yeah.
But so it was like this big giant camera in the big studio, and I was like, oh my god, this is
cool.
it. But,
so cool. Hey, I have a couple of questions about season 7. Who would you have done on Snatch Game?
Well, Joan Rivers.
And
I did Joan Rivers.
You did Joan when we oh my god, sorry to interrupt you, Kasha. Tell the tale.
But I told, because you were doing the Bjork, the swan dress.
The swan dress.
And I had this feeling. I just felt like, you better get something in here. Yeah. You better get something in.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was doing poorly. It didn't feel right. I felt like every time I kind of started to speak, it would change. They'd have me go in a different direction. And so it was planning on I had Joan Rivers, Dame Edna, and Liza, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was a tragedy, Craig. It was a tragedy.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, it was a tragedy. It was a bummer.
It's funny though, Katya. I get that. I get so much like you were robbed or you
were robbed.
But no, it's been the most incredible experience.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, it works perfectly with my life, and I fucking got sober. I can't express that enough.
Yeah.
I would not have figured that out. It would not be so blatant to me that was a necessary
step.
Step. And, the police helped too. But
they always are so helpful. And people give them a lot of crap.
Yeah,
but
the police. The police have this nagging tendency to just irk you in such a way.
I mean, listen, I'm a true suburban housewife.
Yeah.
Watch what you vocalize, kids, because they get arrested.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, Mrs. Davis, I think you should probably go back to your accountant because I feel that he may be Rihanna style embezzling you.
It was Mr. Davis came through into the living room. He's like, "What are you doing?" He mouthed the words. I'm like, I don't get these calls very often.
How long have you been with Mr. Davis?
We're together 14 years.
Wow. Where'd you meet?
Holy shit.
Gay.com. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
After you had the outburst on gay.com, he was like, I know who I'm interested in.
Exactly. Well, so, and the story there is, we'd see each other out, and I thought he was just quiet and bitchy, and he thought I was a mess. And we were both right. But, I mean, so that whole dream come true for me was that as that, closeted boy with my ex-wife, we didn't have kids. And my parents were like, you're the firstborn son. You have to carry on the family name. And you don't want to touch somebody's pickle. And
oh my God.
And I'm like, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
But, lo and behold, after, a couple weeks of dating, Steven said to me, I've got 2 daughters.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, oh my God. And, got to know them. And as we became more serious, I remember just one day saying, in one of those daydreams, if I had kids of my own, they'd be just like Melissa and Jessica.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, you freaking idiot. You have kids and they're Melissa and Jessica. Again, wake up, you unconscious fool.
Yeah.
And there it was. And it's been like perfection. Like it's exactly the way it was supposed to be. So
that's amazing.
How long did it take for your parents to sort of get along with the picture?
My mom never really did. God love her and rest her soul. She died at 63.
Mm-hmm.
And her addiction really, there was pain management. So it became the med. This is what the doctor said I have to take. And I'm like, well, you don't have to take so many that you're face down in your ashtray. But let's,
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this stuff does, kids.
Yeah.
So anyway, she kind of would get better and then get worse and get better. And she was a chronic smoker and she was smoking on oxygen and she lit herself on fire.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
But then the jokester that she was, she was like, Eddie, if I knew that all I had to do was catch myself on fire, I wouldn't have wasted all that money on beauty creams.
Oh, my God. I love her.
Yeah. So then next thing you know, she's beautiful.
Oh, my God.
And then it just didn't last. I mean, she died. She passed away. So she sort of came around in the end, and I think she made her peace. I feel her really close with me. Yeah. But my dad, I have to tell you this quick story. So he came around and came to our wedding, which was when it was legal. Yeah. And, made his best efforts. And recently, now this is going to be, I was asked to go to Scranton, PA to kick off Kinky Boots, which if you know Kinky Boots,
sure.
The basic story is that, dad accepting their sons.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they book me at the Toyota dealership because that's where performers of my caliber get booked. I was like, are you kidding me?
They couldn't have sprung for the Honda lot.
Oh, no. I was right in the Toyota dealership. So, then it looked pretty good. So I went to visit my dad and, it was normal, uncomfortable kind of thing. And he said, I saw you were in the paper. I'm going to come to your show. I was like, excuse me?
Wow.
So not only did he came to the show, my uncle, who he hasn't spoken to his brother in 20 years, came to the show.
Wow.
I performed a song that my mother used to say, I love you to the moon and back. And I sang this song referencing my mom and the love we had. And then I held my dad's hand. And he looked at me in the dressing room and just said, wow, you're beautiful.
Wow.
And it was like this whole, and I believe all of this kind of stuff comes to you when you're in gratitude and when you're clear.
Sure, yeah.
And I was open to it, and he felt safe. And it was just like, what? And so I believe, drag, all of that, that Mrs. Kasha Davis, brought that together. And
Yeah.
And it's such an amazing thing to have those moments with my father, because it was rough. I mean, it's the 70s and 80s, and I best sum it up by saying he used to try to beat the girl out of me. And so I just did everything I could to not show that side of me.
Sure.
Which is probably why I tried, why I created Mrs. Kasha Davis, so I can express that, that part of my gender fluidity.
Your fluidity.
Do you have time for just a couple more questions?
Yeah, sure.
I was curious about how long it was until you knew that your marriage was unsustainable, because I imagine it was like a creeping fog.
God love her. I have nothing but love for Anne, but we knew early on, like even prior to getting married, because there was a situation where I had come out to her, and she's like, and this is true. Oh my God, love Scranton. She's like, oh Eddie, you're just European. We'll deal with it.
Wow.
And I was like,
God.
and I didn't know what European was, but I figured that's what I was.
Yeah.
And so we dealt with it. And I just recently saw a college friend a few days ago that I hadn't seen in 20 years. And he said, you cried all day at your wedding. And he's also okay. And he's like, and I knew it wasn't because not just because you loved Anne Marie, but you felt like it was over.
Yeah.
And I literally felt like I'm truly giving all of myself to her.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in the marriage, we had sex, of course. And we had, good times, and we ran a business together, and we, on the outside, again, very typical in my life, everything looked great. But on the inside, it was like we weren't being ourselves. And she started to travel and study abroad, and began to have her life, and I began to have mine. And of course, we cheated on each other, and we got married at 20 and 21. Like, what the hell were we doing?
Sure, it's very young. It's too young, really.
Yeah, it's way too young.
Even if the situation wasn't what the situation was, it's still too young.
Yeah.
Right. So the long and short of all of that was that, it was time for us to move on. And we did have some really great years, and we basically grew up together.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but we don't talk. That I don't believe in regrets, but I wish her well. And it would be lovely to just catch up now, because I think we've grown up. So
your dad was able to come around. Maybe someday you two will be able to find a space to be able to communicate.
Absolutely. And I know through my Facebook stalking that she has she has children, and and I'm so happy for her, and I'm happy for her. That's all there is to it.
Which is
That's
great.
Fabulous.
And I just have another question about when your mother was in the heavy throes of addiction, did it sort of make it easier to not think about your own?
Well, it gave me excuses to be like, to deal with how this was happening, Mom, and it was another reason to drink. Like,
sure.
it was that really great, this happened with Mom today. I got to get a bottle of wine or Fox or whatever.
Sure.
And when it was really at its worst, which was after Drag Race, and I wasn't getting booked.
Oh,
and, I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, what did I do? I left this really successful career for this, following my dreams, and I got slapped in the face. Listen, I believe she was communicating with me, and she had passed, and I just felt her say, like, Eddie, I don't want you to die the way that I did. You've got to stop drinking.
Yeah.
I would hear it, and she's like, you know it, and you've always known it. And she'd say, please. And, I remember like yelling in my house alone, like, stop it, stop, and of course, what would take it away? Alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I was drinking and driving, and I was, it was a long run of gigs. I had a bunch of gigs, and I thought I was better than I was. I thought I was more. You always do.
Yeah.
If you drink and drive, you always think you're fine.
Oh,
sure. Yeah.
Oh, I can
know?
handle it. I know other people can, but I know my limits, and
Exactly. And especially with as much as I drank, I always thought, like, if I just drank enough and then had a soda, or drank enough and had a coffee, like, bullshit that you put yourself. And I swerved in my own neighborhood with children in the streets.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the next day when Stephen explained this to me, it was as if this thing washed over me.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I will give up Stephen, the girls, my life, every single thing possible. Please, dear Lord, take this away. And it was this like moment of like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do. And I'm a leader. I'm a leader. I'm a manager. I'm a director. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm starting to cry a little bit, but I went into the meetings of AA and I sat there and I just listened.
Uh-huh.
I was like, you all know so much more than me. I don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
And, it just started to rebuild. And as they say, a day at a time, and just each of the little things that they say, just there's so much meaning in finding your way back. And it's truly, for me, that spiritual journey. I knew that moment that I asked for help and I got it. It was washed away.
Yeah.
It was like, that's it. And anytime I ever have some sort of a negative, nagging feeling where I'm going to go down that road,
Yeah.
I immediately think to myself, you're the one that will swerve and you won't miss them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And that's what, and
Right.
do you want to live with that?
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing would be worse. So
Yeah.
That's amazing. And how long has it been since then?
we're coming up on 3 years.
Congratulations.
Holy shit,
That's amazing.
Kasha. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. It's,
That's a long ass time.
It really is.
That's a long motherfucking time.
It's longer than the Colbys lasted on television. So
well, now I'm really proud. Well, the thing of it is, that's so inspiring is that I know with our social media reach, I have messages from people all around the world that say, thank you for speaking about it.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience. And I, as a performer, I have a one particular gal in Australia who she is like, I still can perform because I know you can.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And in our particular drag community, the gay community, any community. But in drag, we know it is, it really starts in those bars and those seedy halls where all of that stuff happens. And it becomes part of the joke, part of the mystique.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be.
Right.
So.
Now you can just play drunk and do it even better.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. And it's so much fun to play drunk because
it's the
I
best.
have done the work.
You've done the research.
Yeah.
I have done the research.
How long was it after you stopped drinking? Were you able to be at the clubs and the bars, et cetera, without feeling a little funny about, not indulging in the things that you did for forever?
Yeah.
I think it wasn't, I wasn't off for long. I went through an outpatient rehab program. And then I also was, 2 or 3 times a day I was at a meeting.
Okay.
And so not very long after I started to tour, and actually, as a matter of fact, it was one of the cruises, the Drag Stars at Sea I went on. And I just sort of knew that enough that I had to just sort of continue to follow those tools, and I just wanted the better life. So it was just I cannot explain it to you other than it was like a switch that day at the window, looking out in the street that I swerved, where it was like off. Now that doesn't mean you don't have to work your program and be a part of it on a daily basis, because I know any level of like quote unquote I've got this and it's back.
Oh yeah,
gotcha.
So I mean, it doesn't. This is something that will never go away. I'm always going to be an alcoholic. That's it.
Yeah.
And so if you rest on that, at any time it can come back. It could be, in my particular case, it's usually in tragic situations where I had turned to it.
Yeah. Sure.
Even going into the clubs soon after, the bar would light up. It would be sparkling to me.
Right.
And now I forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually used to say to myself, to Steve, I'm like, everybody was hammered, And now I'm in the clubs and I'm like, nobody is. Like a couple people are.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's not. I was I was probably the joke. I remember actually in one of our premieres, Katya came up to me and I was like, is the bar closed? And Katya's like, it's been closed a while. You've had a lot. She was sort of like over me because I know I was like drink.
Yeah.
And you just kind of like were really short with me. Like, it's been closed a while. You've had quite a few.
Yeah.
Now it just, I don't know.
No, it
I
changes
feel like
how you perceive everyone else's behavior because part of your brain is also doing a full-time job of seeing everyone else in the same situation as you are, so you don't have to think, oh, maybe I've got a problem.
Yeah.
Well, and one of my favorite things I learned was that when somebody would say you're always drunk, I was like, well, I wasn't always drunk, but you're always drinking, you're hungover, you're thinking about your next drink.
Totally.
And so, and you're planning it. And then you're saying, I'm never going to do that again. I'm not going to do it again. And then 4 o'clock rolls around or, noon, whatever. Yeah. And then you're back in the cycle. So your mind is full of constant thinking, drinking, and thinking about it.
Exactly. Or making excuses for it, or covering it up, or trying to hide it. All that.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And it's absolutely physically and mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
And you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, let's see. I had a couple drinks on the way home from work, and when I get to the house, if I have a coffee, then I'll stop and I'll say I got a bottle of wine, and then I'll get a bottle of wine. And just, what am I doing? Like, it was so much time and effort put in making those plans.
And now what's great too is, as I'm sure you realized, when you stop drinking, you can be like, you know what, I'm going to have a tub of ice cream, and it won't really matter because now my organs are actually working the way that we're supposed to, and I'm going to have that cake tomorrow too.
Yeah, well,
not always. But I'm just saying it's one of those things where it's so taxing on the system, and it's easy to forget that until it's no longer in your system.
Right. Well, I will tell you, at the time of Drag Race, I was at my thinnest again, and all I was doing was drinking and running. I was running minimally on a daily basis, like 7 to 10 miles a day. Wow. And I remember telling you, Katya, like, oh yeah, I wake up really early in the morning and I run because that's what I do. I would run and run because it would make me feel sober, and I wouldn't eat because I saw like it was the fashion and the thin season, so I just had to eat. Sure. And I thought that's what I had to be, which isn't me. No. And it took me a while, but like I actually eat, and boy, do I know how to eat. Like I love my desserts, and of course, touring with Darian. She's my she's the one who says, you've had enough, Kasha. Let's slow down.
That's amazing. I love that.
Well, it's been really a delight talking with you, and also it's nice meeting you over the phone.
Oh, yeah, by the way, this is Craig, Mrs. Davis. Oh. Meet Craig, my friend.
Wait, it's not RuPaul? Please, erase everything.
Oh, well, you're hanging up. Click.
Yeah, no.
We'll get back to your accountant, you dumb bitch.
I know, exactly. And listen, I have to tell you, it's just such an exciting thing to see you doing this, Katya. I think it's been fantastic. I appreciate the phone call. Yeah, it's been great. And there's so many exciting things are coming, and it's good to have a
sister in sobriety,
a sober sister. Yeah. You're
I'm so finally clear now that I'm on meth.
Wow.
Just these California raspberry Coca-Colas, which are starting to be a problem.
Just good old cane sugar. Strap me to the gurney. Yeah.
There's always time for a Coca-Cola.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
Well, best of luck to you, and good luck at DragCon with the children's. And I hope you make lots of money and have a good time.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. This is Craig. I'm just interrupting the show to let everyone know that we are on Twitter at Katya and Craig, as well as Instagram as Katya and Craig. We have an email address, whimsicallyvolatile@gmail.com. And please subscribe on iTunes and leave a review. Thank you to everyone who's already left reviews. Thank you to everyone for all the lovely comments, and hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Excuse me, I'm looking for some hot fried chicken wings. Do you know where I could get any hot, sexy fried chicken wings?
This is not being recorded. This is not being recorded on video.
The audio is being recorded.
Being recorded.
Hello, I'm Craig.
Hi. Hey, Dad.
How are you?
I'm good. Oh, my God. Let me shut it off because I'm so popular. I'm getting all these text message sounds.
We're speaking with the incomparable Miss Jujubee. We were trying to prank phone call you, but FaceTiming doesn't really allow for that.
No, it doesn't. It's a whole, a whole show.
I also have your email now, so I'm like, oh, okay.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm in New Mexico. I'm in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque?
Yeah, I'm at FX tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's the tea? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you good?
I just put Neosporin on my rash.
Where's the rash? Can I see it? to see.
You want to see
I want
it?
to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the rash.
Okay, hold up.
Sorry, listeners, that you can't enjoy this rash.
I know, but I will describe it to you. Oh my God, that's wait.
Wow,
what the
how did that
fuck
happen?
Is that?
Well, I'm gonna say it was a bed bug.
Really? A
shit.
travel bed bug?
For the listeners at home who can't see, that was gnarly.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly. What happened?
Well, I traveled to Seattle last week. I won't name the hotel because I don't think it was the hotel.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Traveler travels. It doesn't. Where do you think you got it from?
I don't know if it. I honestly don't know if it was the hotel because I don't have any at home, and
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I've stayed at that hotel before.
Weird.
But it was one asshole bed bug that was like, "I'm gonna stick around."
Yeah. That looks like the work of a serial killer, not a bed bug.
Yeah. Have you steam cleaned all your clothes and everything? Because sometimes they can get on your clothes.
You know what's hilarious though? I do that shit every time I come home, anyways.
Oh,
So
good.
Oh, yeah.
that was already done, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, is it in my wigs?"
No. No. Yeah, you've always been very, very good about like unpacking, cleaning stuff. You're a clean. Are you a clean freak?
My tights don't stink, girl. You know my tights are clean.
They are. She's always been very dutiful with her dragoonery.
Dutiful with the doo-doo.
Yeah,
I've worked with girls that do not wash their tights.
Mama, I am that girl. I am that girl. I'm a dumpster whore. I haven't showered. Jujubee, I haven't showered in almost, I think, 3 days.
Oh my gosh, your next shower, can you save me a cup of that? Because I want to drink it.
Yeah. You want to lick my dirty ass, bitch?
We can call it Katie sauce.
Wait, so Craig,
Katya.
Jujubee's name out of drag is the coolest name in the world. It's Airline.
Airline, wow.
First name Air, last name Line.
My last name's Inthirath.
Inthirath. Airline Inthirath. Laotian.
Oh, okay. Inthirath Airlines, I heard, is really on the up.
Yeah, you should start Inthirath Airlines.
If I ever started an airline, it would be airlines for a great never be late.
Can you please do some of your world famous Britney Spears impersonation?
Yes.
Okay. Get into this, Craig. This is good. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Somebody called Suck My Cock just tapped me on Grindr.
Sounds like a possible romance.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of trade on Grindr?
Oh, girl, I don't take the train. Who do I look like?
I don't even know what you just said. What does that mean?
Let me do my Britney.
Yeah. She's gonna warm up. She's gonna do a vocal warm up for her Britney because it's pretty amazing.
Okay.
You better work. I cover girl.
It's my favorite Britney song.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wait.
Do the Oh Baby Baby.
Loneliness is killing me. I must confess, I still believe when I'm not with you, Baba.
And you know all the lyrics.
You know all the.
No, my favorite thing about Britney is she could be doing anything and then she'll just go,
It's her signature. Yeah.
What songs are you performing these days? Who do you like?
I guess we can call it performing.
Oh my God! Don't be hard on yourself.
I've not been hard in fucking months.
Are you having an okay time on the road? Are you struggling in any way? This could be a therapeutic process if you like.
Oh, you know what? I actually was just gonna look for a meeting.
Oh,
How
there
funny.
you go. Well, we just talked to Mrs. Kasha Davis.
Oh my! I love Kasha. Kasha's been somebody who's been so active in keeping up with me, and I think that is so cool. And you too, and thank you.
Well, the Sober Sisters got to stay together because that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean
That's how it works.
Especially, it's like, it's hard to be a drag performer and have to be in kind of, in front of everybody that is either using or drinking, and
Sure.
Yeah.
that's their thing. I don't push sobriety or being clean on anybody.
No.
Because it's my journey.
Yeah.
But having other queens who understand is literally like my savior.
Kasha's been a good, we've been in like a sisterhoody sober support system. And like, yeah, because like, you know, we are technically like liquor salesmen, Craig.
Right.
I mean, we work in bars, we work in nightclubs. There's drink minimums.
Yeah. Right.
And we're there to entertain fucking alcoholics and party people. But there's no judgment though. That sounded a little judgmental, but
but that's the arena that you're in. It's a partying atmosphere. Yeah.
How do you stay afloat and sober in an alcohol infused environment?
I just look at it as work now, because before the alcohol was a part of my job, like you were saying, and it almost felt like when I would say no to drinks, I would feel guilty.
Yeah, because you feel like a buzzkill, right?
Well, I've been called boring.
Oh, there you go.
And not just in bed, but
that's when it really stings. That's when it really stings.
No, Jujubee, listen, I have to make a confession to you.
Okay.
I recently had an incident, and not a sweet pussy Pauline incident. I had an incident where I was not able to please a man
with anything, not even like your hands.
No, I was not able to give him what he required.
Now, why is that? Because you weren't interested, or
no? Because I didn't fuck hard enough, or I didn't choke him when he wanted to be choked, or I didn't hate fuck him when he wanted to be hate fucked. I was an incompetent top.
Well, maybe a mismatched top.
Well, incompatibility is always but it stung.
For him or you?
Well, for me, because I don't like being rejected.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that? Has anybody ever compromised your masculinity in the bedroom? Do you know what I mean by that? Like,
I honestly, I talk like I'm a whore, but I'm such a prude.
Oh, okay. So I see what
I've only had sex
3 times. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I've had sex twice this year, and it was with one person, and we had a great time.
Oh my God, this is like giving me a boner.
I know. I sound like a whore, but I'm not.
Now, was your sexual activity different before you got sober?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How so?
Yeah.
My sexual activity before I got sober was never done sober.
Yeah.
Right.
It was always inebriated, so I maybe that's why I haven't had that much sex, because maybe it's a trigger a little. Is that
makes sense.
No, that's a hugely common thing, especially for people.
I can't stop telling you this, and I haven't even talked about this in meetings because I've been too scared.
You don't have to if you don't want to. Everybody's gonna hear it now, and they're gonna say, "Mom, have sex with me."
Well, hey, I'm at New Mexico.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sober, horny people out there who would like to be sober and horny with you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. You're a good-looking guy.
You think so? You want to get together, Katya?
I want to rummage around in your shit can.
I want to tongue pop your honey pot.
You want to massage that rash.
I want to lick your teeth and pull your ears and call you a whore.
A whore with a silent W.
Yeah. Would you? Okay, here's a personal question. Would you?
You're showing us a book. It's Russell Brand's book on recovery, freedom from our addictions.
Great.
It's really good. He on the back. I remember we had that in rehab, and he says how not to be fucked or something. He does a really like vulgar version of the 12 steps, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
What
were you saying?
Well, I was gonna say, would you let me slide my erect penis in between the crook of your elbow, like back, like in and out of your elbow? Would you be amenable to that?
No, I'd be totally fine with that if you like eczema.
I love eczema. I have psoriasis.
I got smooth skin, honey. Unless, you want to rub it against that rash.
That's what it's always circling around.
I want to diagnose that rash. I want to get to the bottom of that rash and then pound your gash. Like Stacey Dash.
Who is Stacey Dash?
Stacey Dash is that
actress,
actress from Clueless who went cuckoo bananas.
Yeah, and then she was a correspondent on Fox News, I think.
Yeah, she turned Republican. She was Dion from Clueless.
Yeah.
Ass.
Yeah. Do you eat ass?
I love it.
Me too. It's my favorite thing to do.
I think it's a control thing for the both of us, though, no?
But don't you think, Jujubee, that everybody's a control freak? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even bossy bottoms are control freaks.
Because they're bossy.
Well, right. I like
hungry. It's because they've been eating salad, no dressing for 3 days.
That's true. They need to have a nice man come give them Pound Town experience. I have a theory.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear it? I don't think there's any.
No, you're going to tell me anyways.
That's just a formality, what you just said there.
Do you think I'm extra? This is not the theory, just a question.
Do I think you're extra?
Yeah.
Like guacamole?
50 cents extra. That's how we all know you.
Like Calorie Kardashian?
Calorie Kardashian.
I love her.
Yeah, she's cool. Do you know who's your favorite on Drag Race right now?
RuPaul. Shit.
That is the best answer ever.
She's the underdog.
She's the underdog.
Yeah.
We're still gunning for her.
Michelle.
Yeah.
And then Michelle.
The Michelle.
They're the top two.
So Michelle Visage came to Jacques and visited you, and then we all went out to Estate one night. And I performed there, and I was very scared for her to be like watching the show, and I did this crazy number that nobody liked, and then she told you, oh, so she's a whore.
What's some high praise?
It is high praise from Madame Visage. Yeah. Where are you going next? You're in Albuquerque now. Where are you going next?
I'm in Albuquerque now. I'm at Carrie Nation in Boston for brunch with Destiny and Misery.
Are you serious? I just talked to Misery the other day. How's she doing?
She looks great. She's lost weight.
Has she?
Oh my gosh, that's like poetry from Jujubee.
Yeah, she looks great. She lost weight. She's a Panamanian queen. Boop.
Airlines. Never be late.
That is really good.
How long after you got sober were you comfortable going back into the bars and clubs, or did you just throw yourself in?
It was a week. I had to work, you know.
Shit.
And I told the people there when I got there, I was like, hey, I don't drink or use anymore, so please be mindful. And they were incredible. They were respectful.
Cool.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that I don't want anybody around me to be drunk. Like, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Like,
Right. I actually prefer people to be a little bit drunk around me because I look a lot cuter.
I think so too. And then, like, if my lash is wonky, they're like, it's all right. You know?
Yeah. Just surround yourself with enablers.
Right.
Yeah. One thing, actually, you told me before I got on Drag Race, Craig, Jujubee was extremely helpful in how to behave myself on the road.
How so?
She taught me to be gracious,
Yeah.
to say hello to everybody, to be respectful, and I really followed in your footsteps because you have one of the most stellar reputations when it comes to the road.
Aw.
Everybody loves you. It's true, though.
Well, that's really sweet. That's really kind.
Well, that's my experience anyways. I'm sticking to it.
Advice, though? Nina
Flowers.
Nina
wait,
Flowers.
so Nina gave you that advice?
What'd she say?
Well, she told me exactly what you just said. And then she said the most important thing is to take time for yourself because you could get lost in it.
Well, that's what I didn't do. Yeah.
And, well, I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was just my cockiness, my self-centeredness. We're all self-centered.
Oh, please. Yeah.
Alcohol addicts, where we all think that we are so powerful when we're powerless. Like, you know, I'm not going to regurgitate the book, but like that's what we are. And even when we're not using or drinking, we still have the same mindset. So we have to pull back and the principles. And I always think about my first day at like a meeting and I'm like, wow, I'm so scared. And then it became like this whole family.
Yeah.
I think it's great that we can openly talk about this. And there are people out there who may be suffering who gain something from it. And
and they do. They really do. Because a lot of the fear of starting something new or the fear of taking a risk, she's giving me this face. But that fear it can be applied to anything. And then guess what? You just do it.
Right.
You just do it. You stick around.
Stop staying scared. That's how I think it is. And just head on. Yeah. And then when you get there, it's like, oh, this is it.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Of course, recovery is so fucking hard, but it's so worth it because if I was still fucked up and you were still fucked up, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
No, this would be Chatterbait and I'd be jerking off at the screen.
And on my computer, no less.
Yeah, and somebody else's house, squatting.
I'd be in somebody else's house wiping down their walls. Like,
totally.
What's your favorite beverage now?
Well, I can only have one Shirley Temple because it's made everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, have you ever had a Shirley Temple and it's just red?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like dying because it's just so much sugar, but I just drink soda water and lemon.
Yeah.
That's what Kasha Davis said.
Kasha said lime.
Lime.
So, yeah. You guys would be safe if there was a shortage on citrus. You'd stick to the lemons.
Yeah.
Kasha would stick to the limes.
it's easier. And sometimes I'll do like a splash of cranberry, but then it starts
But
feeling
that's so
like
wild.
hell, you know? I know, it's too much for me.
How do you deal with the meet and greets? Because you're a very friendly person, you're a very warm person. Does it ever get to be too much, the meeting and the greeting?
You know, it does. It does, because you don't get an exact... You're the same way, though, bitch. Remember our meet and greets together took so long?
Oh, my God. Interminable. Because we're just talking and chatting, pulling out our photo albums, diagnosing scars.
I think you and I are the queens that could get somebody's life story in a meet and greet.
Yes, we do. I do often. And then I get my own.
And then I'm like, I need to go to a meeting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
I love meet and greets. I prefer them to be before, because people aren't so sloshy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
And that's something that's kind of difficult. And you know, sometimes when people get drunk, they get a little loose lips. So sometimes they say things, but I have to be very like centered and I take a step back. And I mean, as long as they're happy, I'm cool. But as soon as I feel like I'm done, I give that like
Yeah, it gets a little gnarly at the end. It can get a little gnarly at the end.
I think people they know we're human, but the character is there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boundaries between what is on and off become very murky in the meet and greet experience, because sometimes, like you said, they feel very comfortable. We project a level of warmth and openness that allows them to share these very personal details, but at the end of the day, we're just a pig in a wig. So
like I ain't a dog.
Yeah. I mean, you do look like absolute female woman, though.
Right now?
No. No.
You do too.
We're both women. When we're in drag, we're women. Do you feel, when you put on the wig and the drag and all the stuffs, do you transition into like XX chromosomal female biological fantasy?
I think I'm a cat when I'm in drag.
Really?
Yeah. Like I just walk around like with my tail up, and then like if I don't like something, my tail slapping the ground, and then
I love that.
Yeah, I just act like one of my cats, where I'm just like, meow.
I love that. Well, you're a huge cat person.
Yes, I love animals.
Yeah.
They don't judge. They judge you, but they don't. You know.
Well, cats are very judgy. What are you talking about? Well, they're prissy.
Yeah, well, that's my cat's name.
I know, Priss. Yeah.
That's a good name for a cat.
Yeah.
Miss is sending me photos right now through Messenger. I don't know what she's doing.
Who's sending you photos?
Misery.
She's trying to. Oh, Misery. She's sending you photos.
Probably of her dick.
Of her big Panamanian ding dong. Wouldn't you love to see Misery on Drag Race?
A girl.
That would be everything.
I would love to see her in Untucked.
Oh my! Misery from Boston on Untucked would just be laying out.
I want to see her. I want to see her and the Vixen together. I want to see what that argument's gonna be like.
Oh my God! Because Misery does not pull any punches.
Yeah,
she does not pull punches.
And then we could put Derek Barry in the middle.
Oh my God! It would be everything. Well, we're gonna let you go because when we have to get it ready for a show soon. What's going on,
girl? You know, I was actually gonna change my flight tomorrow for the morning times, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna do my little meditation. I meditate every day now. Is that crazy?
Look at you, Miss Buddha.
That's really degenerate. I think you should be careful with that.
I think you should. I've been warned about the dangers of meditation, airline. Next thing, you could be shaving your head and wearing a robe.
And falling asleep from the meditation and waking up.
Totally.
Oh.
Well, it's good to talk to you. Get some rest, get some meditations, and take care of yourself.
I can't wait to see you again. You look great, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, sister. I love you.
It's good talking with you.
I love you too, Greg.
You too, Jujubee.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's whimsically volatile.
Craig, I have an illicit confession I wish to make.
Please do share.
I'm constantly vigilant.
Constantly, darling. That's quite exhausting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Are you pro-vigilance?
I'm pro-vigilant. What are you doing there, Craig?
I'm adjusting the backup recorder to make sure that we have a backup copy of our conversation. And because it's not registering, it's okay. It's on. I got some of it happening.
That sounds like vigilance.
It does sound like vigilance, doesn't it? Very vigilant about making sure. Oh, wait, hold on, darling. Wait.
Adjust the levels, Craig.
There we go.
If you don't adjust the levels, the children will shriek and will be paraded around the town square, tarred and feathered and left out to dry.
Just because they had to adjust the volume up and down, up and down, up and down.
Kids out home, I need you to know something. I'm not on meth. Okay, that's a little harsh.
But it's true.
It's true. I have recently been in contact with my dead dad.
And he wants money, as I saw on Twitter.
He wants money. They're all after me, Lucky Charms. I used to be a paranoid person.
Really?
Ask me how I fixed that.
Katya, how did you fix that?
By not being paranoid.
Oh, see, that's a handy little trick. I think a lot of people would not think of that.
I know, but I'm serious.
Yeah? How did you achieve that? How did you decide that you were not going to be paranoid anymore?
It's a mixture of three things. Number one, carnauba wax.
Which is essential to any initiative.
Absolutely. You've seen Point Break, right?
I actually have not.
What the fuck, Craig?
I know.
You need to get into the Keanu Reeves of life.
Well, I saw Johnny Mnemonic, and that was horrifying enough for me to not see anything else.
Okay, well, yeah, everybody's entitled to a clunker.
Well, and that's quite a clunker.
Everybody's entitled to a stinker.
Yep, that was a clunker and a stinker.
And everybody's entitled to a little bit of hullabaloo.
That's right, the hullabaloo. Who doesn't like a little hullabaloo?
Who doesn't like a little hooey? And wait.
Hooey with the side order of hullabaloo?
Yeah, what is the one that's ballyhoo?
Ballyhoo, yes. All the ballyhoo.
Yeah. Ask me how I stopped being paranoid.
Katya, how did you stop being paranoid?
I stopped doing meth.
See, I figured we'd get around to that because meth is not the best thing if you don't want to be paranoid.
It's certainly not. Meth ain't cool.
No, it's not.
It's not cool because I'm seeing a really wonderful therapist right now, Betsy Spear, the Itsy Bitsy Spear, and she is a dual diagnosis therapist, and she talks about meth being the devil.
Well, that's a fair characterization of meth, I think.
It brings out all your worst qualities
and erases all the good ones, right?
Different strokes for different folks. Some people can actually handle their meth, and I have not met them. But
they're a rare breed. Yeah, it's a mysterious.
Usually, I think it's just ghosts.
Yeah.
Some people can handle their liquor. Some people can handle their meth. I have not met the meth handling ones. Yet.
They're kind of mythical. Those
it's the meth myth.
Yeah, it is.
They got the meth mouth and the meth myth. But I stopped truly caring what people think about me, and I know that's okay. In my situation, I can hear my inner critic says, "Well, darling, isn't that easy? Everybody loves you." Well, not everybody loves me. Mm-hmm. But I truly don't. I don't care what people think about me because I usually do a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, well, that's true. And also, everyone has people that don't like them. So
yeah, it's the human condition.
Not everyone likes everyone.
No, not everybody likes everybody. Somebody actually told me the other day, I'm not a big fan of like cheesy affirmations because I don't like cheesy and corny stuff.
Well, you don't like cheese too, so you have to scrape the cheese off that affirmation.
Scrape the cheese off, and I know that's unrelatable, but here we go.
You're not allergic to cheese; you just don't like it.
I don't like cheese.
Yeah,
I do eat pizza, so that makes me a hypocrite. Well, whatever. Yeah,
that's the exception that proves the rule.
Okay. I'll accept that. But this person suggested to me that I should look in the mirror, and all I think about is Stuart Smalley, of course. I'm good enough, I'm blah, blah enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
That's right.
But sometimes, honey, that's not the case.
And by the way, for those of you not familiar with Stuart Smalley, it was a terrific Al Franken character that was on SNL in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, it was send up in a piss take of a daily affirmational kind of new agey stuff.
Yeah.
Psychobabble.
But at the heart of it, he kind of is with it.
Yeah.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness. I refuse to beat myself up. I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with.
Daily Affirmation with Stuart Smalley. Stuart Smalley is a caring nurturer, a member of several 12-step programs, but not a licensed therapist.
I'm going to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
We've all been there. It's like you look in the mirror, you're sizing yourself up, and but I look in the mirror. So anyway, so the person suggested that I should look in the mirror and find like 3 or 4 good things about myself and real things.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work for me.
So you didn't get any value from doing that, like looking in the mirror and saying good things to yourself?
Yeah, because honestly, Craig, all I see is a shell.
Really?
Yes, that body's not me. That body's not any body. Mr. Body's body is gone. But that body is not even. That's not me. I have a wig on my face, Craig. I have a wig on my face. Not at the moment. Right now. I have a wig on my face. Okay. I have a beard. It's a wig on my face.
I see. Okay.
It's a wig on my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and like, just the good old you're born naked and the rest is drag.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that is the truth.
Yeah.
You're born naked and the rest is drag. This body for me right now is drag. Bailey J talks about this actually on she tweeted about this the other day. T.S. Bailey J, who's a fabulously beautiful transsexual porn star and who's also really into the occult, and she wants to be on the program.
We'd love to have her on the program.
Oh yeah. And now you want to talk smoking hot. Craig,
I always want to talk smoking hot. Katya.
This mama is smoking hot.
Well, Katya.
Craig, stop interrupting me.
Katya, I'm trying to facilitate your thought process.
Yeah. This mama is smoking hot. That's HOTTTTTTTTTTTTTTT. The T's never stop because she's smoking hot.
There you go.
She talks about her transition in terms of playing with form, and that at the current time, this body is a party.
Oh wow!
So that's a pretty cool vibe.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool vibe.
Pretty cool vibe for someone so smoking hot.
That's a pretty ice cold way of looking at a body that's super hot.
Yeah. Well, and it reminds me of Steve Martin in My Blue Heaven, where he comes. He's got his Italian mafia ladies man character in those terrible suits.
I love those suits.
He strolls up to Carol Kane in the frozen food section of the supermarket, and he says, it's pretty dangerous for you to be in the frozen food section. And she goes, why is that? Because you could melt all this stuff. And then she faints into his arms, like exactly. And then the rest is her story. Yeah. But I look in the mirror and I just see whatever.
How you look on the present day.
Yeah. Okay. I just notice. I say, okay, yep, still balding. Okay, still got the wig on the face. And then I say, there's some hair there. Do I want it or not want it?
Yeah.
There's some tattoos there. Still love them. Thank God.
That's a relief.
It's a relief. And I don't judge it.
Okay.
I don't judge it.
Well, a lot of people do. A lot of people do that looking in the mirror.
Well, they need to stop.
Right. So how would you suggest that they go about that?
The thing that motivates this for me, and it's a struggle, of course.
Sure.
It's never a perfect picture, but in a lot of Buddhist teachings that I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. I believe he's dead now, but anyways, he talked about all views are wrong views.
Interesting. Meaning
what you see isn't always the truth.
Okay.
Tatiana. That's been my mantra ever since Tatiana from Drag Race on All Stars 2. She gave that spoken word piece.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg. Oh, Greg.
Yes, Katya.
What you see isn't always the tooth.
Oh, that's true.
And what you read isn't always Dr. Ruth. But that blew my wig off.
Yeah.
It was a sneak attack, a sucker punch, and a humdinger, plus a wagon wheel and a fruit barn.
Ooh.
It was also a dish towel.
I was a 6-finger punch.
It was a 6-finger slap from Princess Bride.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was the 6-fingered man. And she slapped me right in the face with that 6-finger glove.
Blew that wig clear off.
Oh, the wig! Find me a telescope. Can't find the wig. Find me a telescope. Can't find the wig.
Get the detectives. I can't find the wig.
Yeah, no. Dick Tracy's gonna. You could scour. You could hire any private dick you want. Call Jessica Jones. She can't find that wig.
Even Detective Jackson, LaToya Jackson.
Oh. There's no magnifying glass big enough to find that wig.
No.
And then, but again, it's like you take the wig off and there's the head. Take the skull off and there's the brain. Take the brain out and there's the what? It's all drag.
Yeah.
It's all drag, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's just a shell. It's just skins and hairs, and it's nothing. It's nothing. It's I always think about it like this. The gratitude, people say, and Ruth says all the time, pretty much all my fucking stupid advice, if anybody needs to know how to live life, just look at Rue on Twitter. And or
listen to her podcast.
Or listen to her podcast or read her damn books.
Yeah.
And health is wealth.
So feeling good.
Well, but here's the thing. Feelings aren't real.
No, but I mean physically feeling good. Because even though those things might not be real, there is no questioning that if you have the flu or if you have an injury or something like that, that will impede your day to day.
Well, of course it does. Yeah. So health as well. But then but looking at the mirror, being talking mostly about the shell, the image, because a lot of times how we react to what we see in the mirror influences how we feel inside.
That's true.
The psychosomatic gig.
But it's also, the reverse is true too.
Yes.
And actually it's more true.
It's more true.
Yeah.
When you feel whole and balanced inside, your outsides reflect that. You have a certain joy.
Yeah, and it radiates. People can see it.
It radiates.
Yeah.
I have that quality in spades. I'm not saying I'm beautiful, because Gord knows.
Gord. Praise the gourd.
Yeah, praise Gordon past the potatoes.
Past the tapatos.
Craig, you've got me in a tizzy. I'm touching myself. I'm unhinged. Oh God, I'm off the rails.
It's the leather couch. It does it to everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, but so going back, when I see myself, I just see it. I don't become attached. I don't engage. I don't even, sometimes I just let it go to the point where it smells like a rotting corpse. Like right now. Can you smell me? You can't smell me though.
We had a lot of perfume on earlier.
Yes, I did. I did take a whore's bath with my Tom Fard tobacco oud. And that's a good scent.
Yeah, praise the oud.
Praise the oud and pass the potatoes.
It's actually sap the tapatos.
Tapatos. But I don't get involved with it. I don't get involved with it.
Well, that's a neat trick, though. Sometimes people can't have a tough time separating those two things.
Well, for me, when I've spent so many years and so many minutes painting it into a different shape or corseting it and adorning it into a different shape, in a different character, in a different look, I always did different looks. I never really certain looks I would ride till the wheels fell off, but in terms of experimenting with style, shape, and whatever, sometimes I look like a supermodel, sometimes I look like a garbage dump. And I love all of those shapes.
Yeah.
But they're just shapes.
Right. And you can put them on and take them off.
Put them on and take them off, and you can do the same thing with the human body in terms of ingesting food and you need losing weight, gaining weight.
Well, what about that? So sometimes people have a real hard time looking at themselves in the mirror because they don't like what they see because, say, they're overweight or they're not where they want to be.
Well, here's the thing: you're never ever going to be where you want to be. The nature of the human mind is such that it is not fixed; it is volatile. It is unstable. The illusion of stability is what gets us all ground up. Nothing is stable.
Sure,
we're all fucking water molecules. Bitch, we're stardust and all that bullshit. We just went to whatchamacallit, the Griffith Observatory the other day, and we went to the planetarium, and that was fun.
Yeah,
and they talked about we're matter. A lot of my advice on love, I get from Erica Badula.
Well, that's a good source.
Yeah, Fat Belly Bella on Twitter. And listen, if you want to know about love, you want to know about the nature of love and the energy of love, you just listen to Erica Badu. That's that's all the education you're gonna need. So on the header of her Twitter says, "You matter ... until you multiply yourself times the speed of light squared, then you energy."
Wow.
And it's like that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're gonna get all involved in the shape. You're gonna get attached to the shape. Well, you're in for a world of pain. You're in for a world of pain.
Sure.
If you want to lose weight, then lose weight.
Right.
Nobody said it's easy.
Right.
Nobody said it's hard either.
Nobody says it's impossible.
Nobody says it's impossible, but nobody says it's possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You accept the first, it's easy for me to say because my father and my mother and my family all groomed habits of fitness and movement and I don't even call it self-care, just say self-discipline.
Taking care of oneself.
Well, moving the body.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say taking care of oneself. Moving the body.
Yeah.
So you move the body maintains a level of fitness.
Sure.
But the shape, we all know that whatever you're doing, anorexics, bulimics, people with body dysmorphia, what they see isn't even close to real.
Sure.
So you see what you see. Well, move on. Don't get involved with that. Don't get involved with that.
What if someone's having trouble not getting involved with that?
Focus on something else. Lay down. Take a baby aspirin.
Or maybe remove mirrors too, if that's really.
You can remove all the mirrors. Yeah, you can remove all the mirrors. You can just don't get involved. Don't get attached.
Don't get hung up.
Don't get hung up. Because every little thing that you say and do, Craig.
Baby, I'm hung up on you.
Yeah. I'm waiting for your call.
Baby, night and day.
What's the next line? Waiting for your call, baby, night and day. Whoa.
At some point, she hangs up on them.
At some point, you got to hang up. Oh, fun fact.
Yes, I love a fun fact, Katya.
Diane Cretan, Meg Ryan,
Yeah.
and Lisa Kudrow
Yes.
starred in a film with, I believe, maybe Walter Matthau or not, called Hanging Up.
Oh, okay.
It was a chick flick.
Yeah.
The only movie I believe that I've walked out of the theater on.
Really?
It was so bad.
Diane Cretan has made a couple massive stinkers.
Yeah.
There was one I saw recently that was shockingly bad. It was her and Piper Perabo, star of Coyote Ugly, Because I Said So. She plays an overbearing mother, and it's worth watching if you want to watch a really bad film. There was a promotional underwear tie-in because this first shot of the film is her 3 daughters in a locker room and showing their asses in underwear.
God.
So they actually sold underwear that said "Because I Said So" at Macy's or something like that.
Oh my God. I think Hanging Up might have been Nora Ephron. I'm not sure.
Hanging Up. Let's look
Hanging
that
Up.
up.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the description. 3 sisters, Diane Keaton, Meg Ryan, and Lisa Kudrow, do what they do best with life, love, and lunacy on the telephone lines that bind when their father, Walter Matthau, is admitted to a Los Angeles hospital. After years of wild living, intermittent affection, and constant phoning, he's finally threatening to die. It was by Delia Ephron.
Delia Ephron. It was awful.
Yeah.
My friend Jen, we cut class to go to the movies. We skipped class, and it was in high school, I believe.
Yeah. I love that you cut class to go see Hanging Up.
Oh my God, it was so funny. We cut class to go see this movie, and it was this chick flick, and we left because it was awful.
I've rarely walked out of a film.
Oh my God, it was like, because I have a critical mind. It's like if I'm in the throes of a stinker,
Yeah.
I got to see it to the bitter end.
Me too.
Yeah, so that you can really frame up your whole viewpoint. And we were just like, no, bitch, this ain't even worth it. Let's get the fuck out of here.
That's right. Like Madonna's Shanghai Surprise with Sean Penn. It's like that. I can't. I've never finished it. I've tried 3 times. Usually, yeah, even if a movie's rotten, I love watching it to the end because A, I know I'm never going to watch it again.
Right.
B, I just want to see how it ends so I can fully enjoy the shittiness.
Right, exactly. And be like, okay, so that's where they went, and I can't believe it, and now thank God it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one, it wasn't even entertaining.
Yeah.
It was just like, Jesus Christ, we cut class for this bullshit. Out of here. Hold on, I feel something coming. Oh, it was so disappointing.
Another one will sneak up on you.
Okay.
Well, since we only have a few minutes left now, we should. How do you want to wrap up the Kasha and Jujubee calls? I think we had 2 really interesting chats with.
Those were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it shows that it's always interesting to see how the progression of this particular and unique style of fame shakes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was very naive in my assessment of the sisterhood of the traveling pantalones. And I thought, oh my God, I'm like, I said in Polytrana, everybody gets along, everybody loves each other. I'm an idiot. It turns out I was just on meth the whole time. Just kidding. But it is, everybody has their own insecurities.
Sure.
Everybody has their own ambitions.
Yeah.
Everybody deals with competition and jealousy and being left out or included or booked or not booked in their own unique way. But what's cool is that seeing how these like road warriors deal with being in the eye of the storm,
right?
And how they and Kasha and Jujubee, or Eddie and Airline, have been a huge boon to me, a buoy, if you will.
Yeah.
And I remember, it's cool. We're there for each other.
Yeah, which is a really great thing.
And people like to see that, and that's why we're not reticent to kind of hold back, or we're not. No, that didn't make sense.
No, I know.
Yeah, it was a double negative. I think
you're not reticent to let flow with. Oh no, reticent is to be sort of
unwilling. Right?
Unwilling. Yeah. So you're not.
We don't hold back.
Yeah.
We don't hold back.
You're willing to
share.
Not hold back.
Yes, we're willing to share our experience, and because a lot of people struggle with this shit, and the struggle is real.com/everybody.
Yeah,
this particular kind of struggle resonates with people. Because a lot of sensitive folks, guess what they do? Turn to drugs, drinking, and alcohol.
Sure.
And this is the biggest takeaway that I'd like for people to have from myself, from Jujubee, and from Kasha, and I'm sure that they will agree, is that you don't need the booze and the drugs. You don't need it to party.
That's right.
You don't.
You don't.
And there's this fear, this wretched fear, especially of wild people like myself and other people. Like, well, I'm not really that wild, but that once that goes down, life is going to be boring.
Yeah,
that life is going to be
boring.
That the person will be boring. Oh, please.
Yeah,
it's for me, anyways. I'm more extra now.
Yeah, you're more yourself.
You're more yourself. You stop dulling, you stop diluting, and you stop concealing.
That's right.
And so people out there, they still really get hung up on that. I forget where I was in my brain. I went somewhere and I wasn't able to vocalize it.
That's okay. You went there and then the door got closed and you went, wait a second, I own this place. I'm in my own brain, goddammit.
How do you deal with my ridiculousness?
I don't find it ridiculous.
Okay.
I enjoy discussing things with you and bantering back and forth.
But you have such a good... You pay attention, don't you?
What's that?
You have a laser focus.
Oh, really? Well, thank you.
I think you do.
I think I might.
Sometimes I catch myself going off in a train of thought and then I can't come back.
Well, but we all have different ways of processing information.
I think of mine like a big balloon of feces.
Is it a hot air balloon with feces? I'm just trying to think
it's not. There's nothing hot about it. It's a cold shit balloon of drama.
Well, it's good. They have to keep the shit cold though, because if it was warm, the balloon is not going to stay a balloon much longer, and it's just going to go on everyone.
Well, that's that fucking middle child Catholic goony loony Mayday baby. I'm just a bullshitter and just wriggling around in my own motherfucking bullshit,
but
mama.
See, you have the ability also to go on flights of fancy.
I love a flight of fancy.
And see, but that's a really valuable thing, and it's a wonderful thing. So there's no shame in that. And also, just we happen to have a really good chemistry in terms of talking about things.
Yeah, especially now that I'm not on meth.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, is that people get confused. Sometimes people like I'd say songwriters or whatever who have forever been writing and recording or singing while fucked up. Sometimes they think if that goes away, then it goes away, forgetting that they can explore their gifts despite the drugs and everything.
And that, listen, that is everybody. We romanticize the wild life, of course,
sure,
because it's a wild life.
Yeah.
And you never want to sound like, you never want to be a buzzkill, a judger, a wet blanket, a party pooper, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But the ability, that is the ultimate fallacy, and that bears repeating 100 times.
Yeah, sure.
That you take away the stuff from the thing, and the thing becomes uncluttered.
That's
not
right.
boring.
No, the thing is then allowed to breathe.
It's allowed to breathe. Yeah, expand.
Yeah.
It's allowed to undulate.
Right.
Wildly, seductively, and without shame.
It's like, for instance, David Bowie in the mid-'70s was so full of cocaine he didn't remember making Station to Station.
There you go.
But it's not because he was doing all those drugs that the album was made.
The cocaine didn't make him brilliant.
No, exactly.
Jesus
no amount
Christ.
of cocaine would turn someone else into David Bowie.
Yeah, meth for me made me calm down. Mm-hmm. It made me be. It made me
an illusory calmness, though.
Oh no, because it's not a calm.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not. Yeah,
totally, absolutely. It made me stay put and when you take that away, what do you have? The restlessness.
Yeah,
the irritability,
which you then have to deal with.
Yes, you got to deal with the restlessness. You got to deal with the irritability, the discontent,
discomfort,
and everybody has their own timeline. For me, when the fire gets hot, I like to deal with it right there and then.
Uh-huh.
And the two potent motivators of getting sober for me were right at the moment of intervention.
Okay.
When the intervention was right, because I'm so fucking stubborn, and you cannot tell me nothing.
Yeah.
And if I'm so fucking stubborn, and
Katya, I tried to tell you something, and you're just so stubborn.
But if anybody says, honey, have you ever, maybe you need to get sober now, I'll be like, fuck you! And then I get sober as fuck.
Uh-huh.
Sober as fuck. Because I'm like, I'll show these fuckers.
You think I should do this?
You think I should do this? I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it despite what you said, and fuck you.
Yeah.
You had nothing to do with it, by the way.
Oh, yeah, by the way, it was none of your encouraging, loving words that made me happy. None of your continuous, loving support that allowed me to see the truth of myself. It was all
my idea.
That's the ultimate childish, immature, stubborn fool.
Yeah.
And I love myself for it. So that's all I have to say, Craig. Will you please powder my hole?
Well, we'll have to go off mic for that. I don't want any evidence of that. And this isn't recording, is it?
Do you know that I have the most
powdery
incredible... No, my swamp ass and my swamp foot, They are formidable, prodigious, and disgusting.
Well, it's going to take a lot of talcum.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever done that in the summer?
No, I've never done that.
Oh, Gold Bond.
Yeah, I've never used it.
Okay, so in the summer times, if you are prone to hyperhidrosis like myself, which is extreme sweating.
Sure.
And even when not on math, I had hyperhydrotic, I don't know if that's a word, features. Episodes, darling. Rainy days, Mondays.
Always blue.
But I would...
always get me down. Forgive me.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I would
shout out to Paul Williams, the writer of that song, one of my favorite.
Is that the Carpenters?
Well, the Carpenters performed it, but Paul Williams and Kenny Asher wrote that.
Okay.
Paul Williams, who also wrote the Muppet movie soundtrack.
Oh.
Yeah, and he also did the Bugsy Malone score, which a lot of people know, a song from the Coca-Cola commercial. He also did the score and starred in Phantom of the Paradise.
Never heard of that one.
Oh, we'll have to watch it. It's one of my very favorites.
Stop pointing your finger at me, Craig.
No,
I already have a
two fingers at you.
God. Oh, I can't take it. I'm going to have a panic attack. I'm better.
And Paul Williams, also a terrific actor. And there's a really good documentary about him called Paul Williams Still Alive.
Okay.
And he's a person who also dealt with severe addictions and came through the other side. He does a lot of work with recovery and is the president of ASCAP as well.
What the fuck is that? Oh, ASCAP is the musical thing for publishing rights,
Association
right?
of Songwriters, Composers, and Performers, I think.
Oh my God, I got to get into that gig.
Get into that shit.
Yep.
ASCAP, I got to get into that shit.
I gotta get into that shit. I know you know it was. I knew it was.
I'm gonna get into that, not because you told me, but because I said so.
Yeah, because I stumbled upon it on myself. I don't take nobody's suggestions. I do it off my.
Drink it.
Yeah. I'd like to go now, Craig.
Well, I suppose I'll have to let you go.
Okay. Listeners at home, are you there?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
You can give your dick to the laundry. I'd like to. Let's leave. How about a word of wisdom?
Yes, let's close with a word of wisdom.
Coming and going. That's all.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, that made a lot of sense. And I think on that note, what more could we say?
Actually, the word of the day, look it up. Kids at home, go Google this. I'm going to give you a mysterious word of the day. Avidya. Avidya. You go look it up and you'll thank me later.
Sounds good to me. Well, it's been another lovely episode. Thank you so much for listening. And good day.
And good day and good night. Bye.
What? I think this is the best show I've ever done. And you know what? I deserve it. Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.